Hey guys, today I'm going to teach you how to make a website like this, and along with creating this website I'll be telling you how to use Fonda awesome icons inside your HTML and CSS files, how to use Flexbox, and let's start doing it, and also how to use this Google Fonts uh, inside your websites. I mean, you have to use Google Fonts these days because they are very important, and you do not have to download all those fonts. So let's just get started. Here is a website that's a kind of an imaginary website for some icons where you can buy and sell icons. It's pretty simple. It just has a name, a navigation bar. It just has three links, and it's a kind of banner. This has text and an image. Then here is some more text and some paragraph. Then here are some font awesome icons. These are not images, these are icons from Font Awesome from here. I'll be telling you how to use Font Awesome very easily, and here is a kind of section where I have used the flex box to display them nicely. This really makes sense. And then here is the footer. So let's get started. First, I'll be touching all these images when I upload this video, all these images, okay? And you need to open the code editor of your choice, but the VS Code is the best, and you should go with it because this is the best and this is in use. Okay, now I'll open the VS Code, and first we have to create a folder. I'll just create a folder. What I have done, I have already created this website. So here are the things that here is the CSS file, here is the HTML file, and here is a folder for the images, and here is one for the fonts where I'm using these font awesome icons. Okay, now let's come inside our new folder where I'm making. Come inside this folder. Okay, I mean, create a folder, and inside this you have to create the HTML and CSS file. How? By going inside the editor and maybe command N or control N, or go to file and then new file, then save this, where you will save it inside desktop and where inside the folder that we just created, or we could just create a folder while saving as well. I will call this index index.html. This is the HTML file, and then I will create another file for CSS and I will save this. I will either I can save it inside the some CSS folder, or I will just save it here. I will call it style.css. You have to attach the CSS because otherwise it will not work. Now, what is this? We will put it over here so they are not confusing for you. Inside the HTML file, just press Shift and exclamation mark or the one. Then this will come. Press Enter, and now the bare bones have come. Call this flowers. I mean, that is the name of the page that appears. This is that thing. Okay, now what do you have to do? You have to attach the CSS file that you just created. By how? By pressing, by typing link, then look for this CSS and it will be typed here. This is giving me the name of the file by default. Okay, I could had any other name of a file, then I had to write that. If that CSS file was inside some folder here, then I had to like put the name of that folder, and then inside that I had to write like this. CSS is the name of the folder, then this CSS like this. But since it's just placed there, I will not write that. Okay, now the CSS file is linked. What we have to do, we have to come inside the body part where the things happen, where we do all the things which appear on the website. Inside body, first of all, we have to create the header. Header is the semantic element because it is inside HTML some element called header. Now we are creating a header and giving it a class. Let's call it header because we do not want to confuse you. First thing first, what we have a logo. So we will call it h1, that is another HTML element, and we will give it an ID, not a class, and call it logo. If you type like this, it will do automatically for you. I mean, you have to put this extension emmet, or just type HTML here, and it will suggest you all the HTML related things that you can put there. Okay, and we will call it flowers. That's enough. And after this we need a navigation bar, and we will just put nav.nav because that is also semantic element, means it's given by the HTML that you can use. Now inside this we want to put some a links. A means those website links, or can give it a class of link. And now it, it is asking me where you want to direct this. So we want to go nowhere. We will put an X, this hash mark, and give it a name of about. I think that's what I have on the page that I was making. It's about, icons, and contact. So you have to duplicate this by pressing shift option and down arrow, or shift alt down arrow. I think command D do this. No, that doesn't do it. That do inside that. But what is that? Sublime. But it's okay. I think some people do this, but I don't know how to do that. I never tried it. But shift alt, shift option down arrow, then do. Now the this is created. The upper section is created. Now what we have to create? We have to create main. That is another HTML semantic element. Main, it is given by the HTML main, and we are giving it a class of main. Why we are giving these class inside it? Because we want to use them inside CSS. We want to know what is the name of this element. Okay, so they are unique. I mean, the class names or the ID names are unique. Everyone has a different, like that. Inside the main element, what we have a banner, and inside that banner we have a text and an image. So let's call this, what we will call this, maybe a section, secpi section. That's also another HTML element. Let's call this banner, and inside this we have text. So let's call that s2 plus title. What is that? Let's call this welcome to my page. Okay, and underneath this we need another one, that's img tag, and we will give it a class of img underscore lowr. Hope I'm not going very slow. If I'm going very slow, you guys can speed up the video. I mean, you can just click on that cog wheel and it will show you. Now I have created an image folder, img folder. I'll use another image, any image. I will use this f2.png, f2.png. Okay, and also always write this alt tag. Let's call this load flower image, because this is important. It's good practice. Now after this, what we have, this section is complete, and now we have to create this thing, this text section here. That is this, and first it has a title and then some text. So let's create another section. I mean, we could use div, but only use div when nothing is making sense to you. Okay, then only use a div section. We'll call it some text. I mean, that's not making any sense, but no problem. I'm using this camel case type thing because if you are a programmer, if you are going to programming world, then you have to get used to this. I mean, write this word like this. If there was like some text on some text or you like that. I mean, this makes sense. Okay, so inside what we have an s2 element, or it could be a p element. I will just put title 2. We will call it title 2 because we already have used the title, I think. Yes, we have. So what we will name this, what is the name of that thing over here? Maybe I will just copy handmade icons for you. I mean, if it is not exactly like that, no problem. We do not have to now write a p tag and call this pexec text and enter. Now inside this, write lorem and then maybe 30 and enter. Now it will write lorem ipsum. You have to install this extension inside this code editor from that section where I was showing you, like the extensions. Just type the lorem ipsum and it will suggest you. These are smart things you have to do. Now I think this section is done. We need to create another section. What I will create a div here. Let's call this shop. I mean, right now things are not making sense to me, so I'm using a div. In a created a div, I just put dot, then shop and it created a div. Now inside this we will create some sections. Section 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 one. Let's call it flower. Now the class of this element, and I no the to this element we have given a class of flower. Inside this, what we need a flower image, so img tag and img forward slash f1.png. I mean, these are the name of the images that I have attached, and I'll be attaching these images along. No worries. So let's call this flower img flower image, and underneath this we have some text. Yes, so let's call that p tag. We will not give it any class right now, and maybe he'll write lorem, maybe 16, enter, and it has typed some lorem ipsum for us. Now underneath this we need a button, button, and we will give it a class name btn button, and inside this we will write like 0.29 by now. I mean, that's the name of the button we are making, and we need to duplicate this. We do not have to create this again and again, because we have to create 3 boxes. So 2, 3, and let's change the images from f1 to f3 maybe, and f4, yes, and maybe change this price from 29 to 39, and this to 19. I think we are almost done. All we have to do now is create this footer, footer dot footer. Footer is the semantic element, and we are giving it a class name of footer. And inside footer, what we have a copyright tag. So how we will write that? Let's create a p tag, and inside this let's create and write this copy. It's giving you suggestion. Now this will write that c inside a circle, the copy sign 2020. The website is done from the HTML side. There was nothing tough. Okay, we just put the elements, sections, and all those. If these things are confusing you, just use div. But div is not a good practice. Okay, just remember that. And now come inside the. But first, let's see what we have done. Is it some magic, or it is just nothing? Here is the thing that we created, and if I open it now with the browser, you see this is the banner section, this is the header section, this is the navigation, and these are those 3 buttons, and this is the footer, and this is pure HTML. There is no CSS attached. Now what we have to do? First we have to adjust the browser defaults. How we do that? I mean, browser gives some padding and margin by default, so we have to write the star, then this, then padding, write 0, margin, write it 0. This section is done. Do not write anything else there. Come inside body, and to the body we have not created, I mean, we do not have to give it any class or anything. Body by default is body. So to the body, what we want to make? We want to make it 100% width. So width 100% or 100 BW means view width. These are new elements, get used to them. Okay, I will give them space so you do not get confused. Okay, width and height should be automatic. Okay, and what else we have to do there? As of now, let's keep it like this only. And after this, what we have this EAD header element, and to the header element, what we want to do? We want to make it some color. We do not want to give it some color. We want to give it some width. Yes, we want to give it some width, maybe 80% or 80 VWP width. I could write this also, but this is smart element. And for the height, we write VH, mean view height, and height maybe height of, how about 100 pixel, and maybe we get some bottom 1 pixel solid. Then E means a very subtle color. It's not very and we need to give it some margin also, margin to place it in the center of the screen. At the top we want to make it 2%, and left and right auto, this will put it in the center of the screen. And after that, we if we take a look at now at this thing, let's see how it looks. This has come over to here, but we have to do one more thing, and that is display flags. If we use this and justify content like space between and align items center. Let me show you what happened now. Now these things, this is justify content, space between mean there's, it's giving space between the extremes from the beginning to the end. And the align items, if I let me remove them for a while, let's see what happens. They are there only. Now first let's enable this align items center, means they should be horizontally aligned like this. No, it didn't happen. But what is this? I mean, I have not enabled it. I will just remove this. It has become a multi-line command. I will just comment this only. Now if I come back, they are aligned, you see, but there should be some space. We could give some margin padding to make that, but that is not good practice. We use this to justify content, space with pen. If there were more elements, we had to use like space around and all those things. Now the you see those navigation icons, they do not have space between them, so we have given a link class to them, so we will use that link. And let's use this padding, maybe make it 20 pixel. Let's see how it works. That has given it some. And also we do not want text underlines, so text decoration none, and maybe give it some color that is should be black. We could write black, or and now we want to change, we can just select any color from here. That makes it easy for us, you see. And the font is very small, maybe make it font size. Guys, is it making sense to you? You have to practice. Okay, these things will come easy to 1.2 em, or we could write px pixel for maybe 18 pixel, 16 pixel, like that. But I'm using this, and maybe make them capitalized. How we do that? We use text trn trans, okay, text trn text transform uppercase. We could, that makes it easy for us. Now header is addressed. Now we have take care of this section, that is dot main, that is a class name that we gave to the main element. Now what should be this width? First element, that should be atvw equal to the headers width. I mean, that they should look similar, but and height should be automatic auto. And what else margin, to place the things in the center. Let's put maybe 2% at top, 2%, and then auto means place this thing in the center. Now this thing is in the center. Yeah, they are not in the dead center, but I will adjust them. Now what we have here, this banner section, what is the name of this banner? This is banner, and it has two elements. Let's select that banner and give it a background color background. If we want to give it some gradient, then we have to use background image, then linear gradient, then put an angle maybe 45 degrees, then comma, then the first color, let's put pink, then comma, then maybe salmon. I mean, you could just put any color and then change them. And I will just, this pink is very light pink, I will maybe use a darker pink. And salmon, instead of salmon, I will use kind of green, and we can see if that works or not. And also we want to change the color of the text that is inside this banner. That should be white. Okay, now let's come back, you see, and now we have to align them in a better way. So how we do that? First of all, let's give it some padding, because they are getting like stuck to the edges. So we want to give some space, some breathing space, maybe 1%. Let's see how it works. That has given it some space. Okay, and now we will do one thing. We will put a display flex. Let's see what happens, like this. And justify content like what we did earlier, space between. Let's use that, how that works out. That is giving some meaning. And then the same thing, Align items center, and let's see how it works. That has made things easy for us. Welcome to my page. No, that was not the text, but anyway, take it easy. And now we want to give it some margin at the bottom, so the element at the bottom is not struck to this margin. Bottom should be around 3%, not much, because we do not want to throw things away. This is giving some space. Now we have to work on this section where it is text and all that. What we have to do, not much. Come over here, and what is the name of this thing? Some text, and the title of that thing is title 2. So title 2 needs some breathing space. So let's come here, dot title, title 2. Give it some margin at top, maybe 2%. That is enough, but I am not giving it good enough space so you can understand it. Come over here. No, what I did, margin top, no, it needs margin bottom. And now come back. Yes, it has given it some space. And let's see what we have done. So it has some, yes, so the text is a bit more here, and I have not added much text here. So I will increase the text by just duplicating the text that I already have over here. So maybe from here, yeah, from here I will just copy it and come down and paste, and it will increase the text amount over here. Let's see. Yes, it has increased. Maybe make it more. That will be too much of text. Okay, I think that is okay. And now this, we will not give this element the margin at the bottom. We will give the margin to the element down below it. What is the name of that element? That is the shop section. Now come over here, dot shop, that is a div, and it has a class name of shop. Margin top, it should be 3%, can be anything that you like. Now things are making bit sense to us. We are not throwing things away. Okay, so what we have to do now, we have to make this flower. And what's the name of each element? That is the flower, flower flower. So select this flower flower. We will give this some style, and it will be applied to all those three elements. Maybe give it some width maybe 300 pixel. Okay, and padding 1%. Now we want to give it some background, and that should be white. Okay, and then some shadow box shadows, like we give the drop shadow, like what you do in the Photoshop. So on the x-axis means horizontally from your left arm to right arm, maybe give it some like 3 pixel. We have to experiment and see. On the y-axis, up and down, head to feet, that could be like 2 pixel. And then the blur, how much blur, like it's how long it goes, and like the smoke. And then we have to RGB, that is the color of the shape. That could be, that's right, 0 0 comma 0.2. Now you will be able to see this is a color. So let's change it to a bit subtle light color, and come here, and it will not be good because we have to adjust this. And what we have to do next, we have to come over to this shop section, and display flags to display these things right like this. And but now these are not, these are stacked to each other. What we do, you know what we have to do, we have to use justify content space between, and they will be placed as we want. Now we want to give these flowers, not, they are like squares, maybe some border radius, maybe 18 pixel. 18 pixel. I gave 12 pixels. That makes it very rounded. Maybe I think 14 should be okay. We do not want this thing to steal all the attention. That is okay. I think that is making sense. And now what we have to style this thing as well, the button and the text. So what we have to do, come inside this flower, and I think flower is a bit done. we will have to do this, maybe text align center. Let's see what it do. It center the things, and the flower is bit large. What we will do, we will come inside this, and where are these flower, and maybe give it some width. I think these flowers are very large. Make it maybe 280 pixel. Let's see what it do. That made it huge. I will make it 200 pixel. Let's see if that works. That looks kind of okay. So we will copy this 200 pixel width element, and will apply this to others as well. Okay, I had placed my this headphone very far away, so the sound might be disturbed. I'm sorry for that, guys. Now that is horrible. Okay, that's horrible. I made a whole video and I was not concerned about the audio source. And now we have to style this button. The class of the button is btn. We have to come inside the css file, and this btn. Now the width should be maybe around 180 pixels. Height should be around 60 pixels. Padding maybe 4 pixels, and background color should be maybe dark pink, dark orchid. Let's try that. Magenta, no, dark orchid. And the color of the text inside this should be white, white, that's okay. And font size should be maybe 1 ems. Let's see how it works now. That's bit high, very high. 60 is not okay. Let's go with 50. That's okay. And this also make it smaller. And now we have to make these rounded, and we have to remove the border, border. That should be none. And border radius, mean to give it some roundedness, maybe 12 pixels or 8 pixels should work. That is okay. And we want to give it some margin at the top, maybe 2% should work. Let's see. That is a bit less. Maybe give it something like 6 pixels. That is okay. And now we have to create the footer. Do we have the footer over here? We have the footer. So let's style the footer. Footer has a class name footer, and width should be how much? 100 VW. Height should be maybe 120 pixels, and background color maybe, what is this, blue bullet? Let's use that. And color should be white, the text color. And now the text align, to place the text in the center, that should be center. And now if we come back over here, you see this text is stacked to the top. So how we bring it to the center? By using the line height, and we use the height of the parent element, and that is 120 pixels. If we come back now and this refreshes it, things are looking in good shape. Let's maybe change the color from this blue boiler to kind of pink. Do not use black color, okay, much, because black color is kind of very high end color. I mean, that should only be used in kind of a very high-end websites. If you are making simple websites for simple blogs, then black is not the, it's kind of mystery color, and do not use this. Now I want to show you, like I had used that font awesome icon over here. So how we use the font awesome? Font awesome is like an icon that we download from here. Come over here and download it. When you download it, it will look like something. Let me show you. It will have a folder. You have to extract two things from that, CSS and web fonts. Let me show you. If I can show you like this, I will be okay. That will be font awesome. You have to copy this, and you have to like copy and paste them inside a folder where you are working, and I call that folder and add fonts, and here are the things. Now what I did to use the font awesome, you come inside your HTML file and you have to attach this thing, just like attaching your CSS file link, CSS, and instead of this link we have to write the name of that folder, fonts forward slash, what is the name of that thing? Now I'm not using some magic, I'm using what things are here. Then CSS, I mean these are nothing is tough over here. Then inside CSS what we have to use, all.min.css, because this is kind of compressed file, all.min.css. Now you will be able to use CSS, these icons. So if where is that element, we have done this. Okay, now underneath this we will create a section.so CIAL, call this social, and let's put I class. You have to put I. Okay, now you have to give it class FAR, means font awesome regular, far dash maybe HEART, hurt. Let's see if that works. So how I am, like, am I making them up? No, these are here. If you come here and where are these icons, and if you click on any icon, this will have a name, how to use them inside HTML, and there is a code for CSS. And if I suppose I click on this 500 pixels icon, let's see how it goes. My net is going a bit slow, and here is that thing, I class fab mean found awesome brands, then like this. There is nothing tough, nothing difficult over here. Okay, and here I come back. Let's see if this has worked or not. And if you're a beginner, if you're starting, this will not work for you, believe me. This is a bit tough if you do not follow that thing. I mean, you have to download, you have to copy those CSS and web fonts folder and copy them and paste inside a folder inside your website where you are creating your CSS files. I mean, just create a folder for fonts, paste them, and then use that link, that how I created this link, just this much, and you will be able to use Font Awesome. I should make one more video just to show you how to use Font Awesome. Now we are able to use this. Let's maybe duplicate this line by Shift Alt or Shift Option down arrow, and instead of herd we will write here maybe what, share dash alt. I mean these are all written over there, I'm not making, and this didn't work. Why? Because maybe it is uh, simple fast when it's not regular. Yes, so now, and one more thing we put here, that will be fab mean font awesome brands, and instead of this alt we will use dash twit Twitter. Let's see if that worked or not. Yes, that worked. So now we have to give them some space. What is the name of element over here? That is social. So we will use something smart over here. Let's write social, social, then nth element, and the first element, comma, dot associate social. We want to give the space to the second as well, nth element 2. What we want to give them, padding or margin. Let's give them padding to the, I'm blabbering here, margin right maybe 10 pixel. Let's see if that worked or not. That worked. 10 is very small, maybe use it 30. Yes, that worked. And now we want to give this class social dot so social, give some margin at the top, marg, and margin dash top maybe 4%. That will be too much. That will should be 3 is better, I think. If I use 3%, it's okay. It's still too much, but it's looking visible. Now we want to increase or decrease its opacity, so let's use this opacity element, maybe make it 0.5, and this its color will be bit darkened. We could increase the font size as well. Now font awesome is done. We want to use Google Fonts. So come to fonts.google.com, just press post Google Fonts on your Google, and this will show up. Now whatever font you want to use, you do not have to download this, you just have to attach the font. Suppose I want to use some font, maybe I will make it quick. Let's use this font. So it's showing me you have selected two fonts. I will remove the first that I have used. So what you have to do, you have to copy this thing and paste it inside your HTML file like this. Come inside your HTML file and under your CSS thing or above them, put it like this, and come back to this thing again, copy this thing and put this inside your CSS file. If you want to give this style to a particular element, then you put it inside that only, like font family. If you want to give it to the whole thing, then you put it inside your body. I did that. And come back over here, the font, did it change? I didn't notice. Okay, I will use another font. So we actually know, you should be able to note this. Okay, let's copy this, come inside your HTML file, and I will remove this and I will paste the new one that I just copied, and come back over here and copy this link and paste it inside the CSS file of the body. Remove this, paste it, save it, and saves the HTML file as well. Come back to the browser and see if the font was changed or not. The font is changed. I mean, you can see the font worked, but this is very not so good font. We will change it, we will remove this font, and maybe we should use some how about this Lemonada? That should be okay. So use, know how to use this. Copy this thing, put it inside your HTML file, remove this, come underneath this, paste it, come back again to that Google font thing and copy this thing and paste it inside your CSS file, either to the body or to the element that you want to give it the style to. Save it, and if I come back now, font is changed. So guys, if it is making sense, do give me a like and maybe a subscribe, and if you are facing some problems, do ask me questions. I'll be very happy to help you. Thank you. Have a great day.